Well, hello again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Haunt Jaunts. Courtney Maroc, your host and guide here. And feel free to drop a comment saying hello with, I guess it says your username, so then I'll know it's you, but I can at least like it back to say hi that way. Today, I thought we would talk about a couple of updates. One is I guess both kind of relate to interviews, but one is specifically about an interview with Posies, which has an American Horror Story connection, not to this season, but to the Coven season. And then also we're going to talk about the Lizzie Borden house. So two houses this time. It's a house, haunted house up there. Well, actually, I don't know if the one house is haunted, but Lizzie Borden house. We've got some updates, so let's get into that. I had interviewed Katherine Fisher and R.H. Stavis, who are the directors of Posies, which is a short horror film that I absolutely loved. I don't know why it captivated me so much. I think it was the storyline. It's very timely with real people turning into monsters, like physically becoming monsters, which if you look at our world today, people aren't, becoming like raw monsters, but we're at a point in our world where I don't know that we've ever been this contentious, have we? Which is, you can answer that if you want to, but I don't want to get political or anything like that because we all have different views. And at the end of the day, I think we actually have more similarities and differences, but people are trying to put a wedge between us. I don't know why. Anyways, that's not the point of today's talk. Posey struck a nerve. And also, it's one of those things like, so who's your favorite movie directors or TV for that matter? Whether it's Hitchcock or Guillermo del Toro or Spielberg or you name it, Wes Craven, George Romero. I was so nervous talking to Katherine Fisher and R.H. Stavis because I love their movies so much. And I was just like, whoever made this, these people are crazy talented. Like this could be what launches a massive career. And I'm going to get to talk to them, before that hits. I don't know why. Just call it a sixth sense, call it whatever. Anyways, I psyched myself out. I was fangirling like crazy. So that sometimes these things happen. But I had failed to ask them where. I knew they filmed in New Orleans. I had asked that, but I totally missed Haunt Jaunts 101 interview question was where you filmed Haunted. Everything. I always ask people, do you have any ghost stories? Did you have any, even if I don't know if it's haunted, do you have paranormal activity experiences? I want to know. Didn't ask. But I admitted that in the recap post that I wrote. And luckily, Katherine Fisher saw it because I got so distracted. I was going to reach out. I just hadn't done it quite yet. And she saw the post, read it, which, oh my God. And then she tweeted an answer without me even, hunting it down. She just took that initiative. That was super exciting. And what she had to say was really exciting. So here, I'm going to read it. Cheaters time. Okay. Thank you so much for this lovely article and for having us on. And yes, we shot at Maison Vitry in Tremé, which was built for Louise Arsène Vitry, a free woman of color in 1855. If you look closely, you can see her photo on the vanity in the opening scene. And oh yes, it's got some ghosts. Oh my God. Okay, so I didn't ask, what in particular the ghost stories would be. But when I did some research into the house, that's when I discovered it had been the setting for the Voodoo Queen Marie Laveau's, I think it's called her salon. I can't remember the whole name of it, but it was her salon in American Horror Story Coven, season 3. that was super exciting that it had been in that. Then I also found out it was in HBO's Treme. And what else has it been in? Well, then, yeah, of course, also Posies now. But I also discovered it's available as an Airbnb. It's also very open to photographers, filmographers, but you can also rent it as an Airbnb. I couldn't find, except for it being on some lists for Airbnb spookiest places to rent for Halloween, I didn't come across anything that spoke about its haunted history. However, I respect that because Louise Arsene Vitry's relatives are still alive, and they're maybe 3 or 4 ancestors deep by now, but they still very much respect her and her memory. And let's face it, sometimes ghost hunters, I don't mean this about everybody, not everybody is like this, but it just takes that one darn bad apple, right? That they are just disrespectful, they trespass, they don't act proper, right? So then it wrecks it for everybody. That gives it a bad rep. Do they really want the bad apples, so to speak, coming around, bugging their house at all hours of the night? They probably get enough. I call them set jetters, people that go around to movie locations. I saw that saying somewhere. I wish I could remember where, but I thought it was a cute saying. So now I say it every chance I get. Anyways, I'm sure they get enough of those people from Coven and everything coming, which hopefully they're respectful, but the paranormal folks aren't always. And who haunts the house? If it is Vitry, do her ancestors, would they appreciate people trying to contact her? So I reached out to Maison Vitry to see if they would answer me what kind of paranormal activity they have. I don't really expect an answer. And that's, I completely respect that. I just thought it's pretty cool to learn that it was also an American Horror Story Coven. Okay, so now let's talk about another exciting development with the Lizzie Borden house. So I think it's September 10th, the Curse of Lizzie Borden. It's a it's a shock docs. I don't know if it'll be on Travel Channel concurrently when it premieres on Discovery Plus, but it's coming. So, and I have a feeling eventually I have noticed Travel Channel is starting to release more things on both Travel Channel and Discovery again. Some of the bigger shows they're still trying to entice people to sign up for the Discovery Plus membership, but some of it is, releasing at the same time. So I don't know what's going to happen this Halloween. That'll be interesting. But if the Curse of Lizzie Borden releases now, there's a good chance it might be sometime around Halloween time that it's on Travel Channel. If it's not already, it's on Travel Channel on September 10th. That's a lot to say. Too much going on in my brain. Okay, so one of the paranormal investigators on there, I hope I say her name right, Luann Joly. That's how it looks to me. It might be Joly. I'm sorry, Luann, if you happen to watch this, just scold me. I'm just going to call you Luann because that one's easy. She left a comment. So author Priscilla Bettis, if you read the comments on some of the YouTube, she leaves some really great comments here, there, everywhere. Any place I write, I really appreciate that, Priscilla. So if you're watching this, I can actually say it to you in person. I really appreciate your comments. They're very thoughtful. They always get me thinking of new things. She had written on the Curse of Lizzie Borden post, cheater time again, I think it's possible for a cleansing to get rid of only negative spirits. I only say that because mediums on TV say things like, only goodness and light are welcome here, and all dark energies must go. Which her comment was in response to my check-in question, which was, do you think if a haunted place is cleansed of evil spirits, it also rids it of any good ones? Or do you think the process can be controlled? So she reminded me that, sometimes they do say, dark be gone, anything good can stay, or that's going to not misbehave. I had written back or replied to Priscilla, you raise a good point. They do say that, but is that real or just for TV? To this day, I'm suspicious of psychics in general, but especially the TV ones. I'm just not sold that mere humans can influence the other side at all. Receive messages from them, maybe, but help them along the way. We can barely help ourselves most times. Still, you raise a valid point that I'd forgotten about, because in general, there does seem to be a dissecting of good from evil. So they very well could banish, the one and keep the other. Glad you pointed that out. I am glad, Priscilla. So yes, I am. I'm super suspicious of psychics in general. I think it's a lot of, not all of them, again, like ghost hunters, not all are bad. I think some are legit. I do struggle sometimes with offering money or offering, if you want to offer me money, I'll take it, but for asking for money to do so, I think sometimes some, not all, pray. And, through time, it's been proven that some of the most flamboyant are frauds. So the pragmatic part of me struggles with that. But I have to say, there have been some that have made me go, whoa. So, I'm skeptical, always skeptical, never usually convinced one way or the other about certain things, except the people that act bad, the bad ghost hunters. Anyway, so Luann J, I'm going to say that. I hate when I butcher people's last names. She wrote, it was very real. I'm one of the investigators in that picture. I shared the picture that Discovery Plus had sent me, or maybe it was from Super Juice, their press people had sent me to put in a post about the release of The Curse of Lizzie Borden. So she said, I'm one of the investigators in that picture, and I live in the area of the Borden murder house. I've been researching the case for years, and I'm near and dear to the history involved. I do have to make a small correction on your historical information, which I'm going to stop right here. That was when I talked with Azure Hall from US Ghost Adventures. She wasn't quite sure about the history of the Borden house. She had brought up ghost children as I was talking to her, and how they're on the upper floor and a lot of people bring toys and such for them. And I was like, but I knew Lizzie had never gotten married, so why were there ghost children? And she said, well, it had to do with somebody before Lizzie had lived in the house. The mom, unfortunately, drowned both of the kids, killed both of the kids, and then killed herself. So there was a tragic death on that property before Lizzie Borden. That's what I had written. So now we'll get back to this. And I thought they were relatives of Lizzie Borden. So the relatives you're speaking of didn't live in the home Andrew Borden later moved his family into, where he and his second wife, Abby, were murdered. They lived in a house next door. The man was Andrew's uncle, Lodwick Borden. His wife, Eliza Darling Borden, drowned two of their three children in the cellar cistern, and then went upstairs and sliced her own throat with her husband's straight razor. It all occurred in their own home, which, like I say, was next door to the house the murders took place in, killing Andrew and Abby Borden in 1892. Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope you all enjoy the show. So that's exciting. I'm going to screen that this weekend, so I'm pretty excited to see her in action. She's with Wailing City Ghosts, which has been together since 2004. So it's always kind of fun to see, the people, and it's really exciting. It's fun to see them. I'm so bad at finishing my thoughts. It's always fun to see the investigators on TV. I've known a couple of people who have been interviewed for different things, and it's kind of just fun to see regular average Joe folks doing what they love to do and getting to be on TV and a part of some of these projects. So, and then it's even more fun for me when I write something, and how they find the post, I don't know, but then she did, and she left this great comment, and then she left an even longer comment kind of explaining her history in the paranormal and how she got into it and how she had a dark entity attached to her, which is there a dark entity that is responsible for the curse of the Lizzie Borden house? I don't know. So we'll get to find out. But I also asked her for an interview. But now, because she is a superstar, not a superstar, but she's on TV. They have certain contractual agreements. So she's going to ask if I can talk to her. And I even said, I won't ask anything about the Curse of Lizzie Borden, but I'd love to talk to you about some of your other experiences and how you got into the paranormal. So if that happens, you know, she may be joining me here and you'll get to see her too. But that's my update. So, okay. And also, it's important to mention because we're speaking about New Orleans, I checked on the Maison Vitry's Instagram account. They made it through Ida okay, other than power outage. They didn't sustain any damage. And then I was curious. I was like, well, wait a second. Ida went through the Northeast also. So did it hit, you know, Falls River where Lizzie Borden house is? How'd they do? And so far it appears that they aren't reporting any damage up there. So that's pretty good. But I am extremely sorry for all of those who had a hell of a time with Hurricane Ida this weekend. And that's actually an understatement. People died, mass destruction that, you know, it's just, it's a hard time. It's been a hard time for a little while with everything, politics, this coronavirus stuff, and now all these natural disasters, the fires out west, flooding. Just, can we get a break? Let's end with a question. Are you a set jetter too? Well, let me know in the comments. As usual, thank you for tuning in and spending part of your day with me. And if you haven't already, or if this is your first time here, you know, please like, subscribe so you can do this again. I'd love to have you, and leave a comment. Say something about yourself. Help me get to know you. Until next time, ciao for now.